H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And guess what, y'all? Great day is Women Rock Wednesday. Women Rock Wednesday in the building. And as usual, on Women Rock Wednesday, well, if you're just joining us today, every day we choose our starting five. That's the first 5 people that sign up to our feed. But today is Women Rock Wednesday. And we gonna honor the 5 women. First 5 women that sign into the Facebook and YouTube feed. And those women today are Sonia Billingsley, Dale Griggs, Mindy Collins, Jessica Brooks. Hold on. I got one more for you. Sorry. Hold on. And Tammy Allen. Wow, is in the building. Anissa Veal is our 6th woman of the day. Then right behind her, we got Kimberly Jackson. Let me see. I got Tiffany Saunders. You know, I got to shout out to all my women. This Women Rock Wednesday. So guys, just hold up a minute. You got Jess McKee. Who else? With Brandy Nickerson. Who else we got? Who else we got? Let me see. I'm just trying to see all my women. Make sure I got them all. I don't want to miss nobody. But it's Women Rock Wednesday, man. And you know, as customary, I want to share with y'all some stuff about women. You know. It's Women Rock Wednesday, right? So, first of all, let me start off because this just happened. It's just hot off the press. Marsha Fudge was confirmed as the first Black woman to lead the hood in more than 40 years. She's an Ohio congresswoman, and she has pledged to address systemic racism inquiries in housing. And if you don't know what HUD is, that's the Housing and Urban Development Department, was held in this last regime administration by Ben Carson, which ain't done nothing. So hold on, let me make sure bring Jimmy in. Okay, he's already. So I just wanted to shout that out to Marsha Fudge. And hold on, it's not it. I got something else for you. Let's talk about the other day. The young ladies can't wait to talk about this. I almost talked about this on a Monday. Jimmy, let me get you phased in right quick. Yeah, as good as I can. Okay, I almost talked about this was Monday because on Sunday, the SEC women's basketball tournament, they had a final between the #1 seed South Carolina and #4 Georgia. That marked the first time that 2 Black head coaches, women, South Carolina's Dawn Staley and Georgia's Joni Taylor, met in the conference championship. That's the first time that has ever happened. And we have to give them their shout out. And then, y'all, I'm listening to a show yesterday, and I found out that y'all remember this name, Jennifer Carroll Foy. Jennifer Carroll, 2 R's and 2 L's, Foy, F-O-Y. She had the chance to become the first black woman governor. Douglas Wilder was the first black governor in America from the great state of Virginia. She's from that state. She's running for governor in that state. Now, Virginia is the former capital of the Confederacy, and one of her Miss Foy's mottos is she says she's a working mom working for working mom working for working families, and you can first start voting for her in Virginia April the 24th. I think the voting ends June 8th. So if you know anybody in Virginia, please tell them about Jennifer Carroll Foy. She hasn't mastered the social media space yet. That's why y'all don't know she don't have a following like AOC. But in our nation, y'all, in our nation's history, we have yet to have a black woman lead the nation and have yet to have a black woman lead any state. So guess what? Why not vote for her? And I was listening to her interview yesterday, and she just overwhelmed me. She said some key. She said the wealthy and the well-connected have a lot of representation. You know, because I hear about when guys like some people on this Facebook feed, I ain't gonna even call their name. Man, I ain't gonna vote. Them folks ain't thinking about us. Them folks ain't thinking about us. Yeah. But she said the wealthy and the well-connected. So let's try to. That's why I tell y'all, let's use our power so we can be wealthy and well-connected. She also said, in the words of Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, she said the people closest to the pain needs to be closer to the power. The people closest to the pain needs to be closest to the power. Her name, Jennifer Carroll Foy. Look her up. I can't give you everything about it. I want you to do a little work on her. This is our first chance to have a woman as a governor. Shout out to those black women today. They rock, and I think I got something else I want to share with y'all before I go there. Let's see. I got a video I want to play with y'all right quick, because representation matters. Representations matter, and I got it. I want y'all to check this out. This for Women Rock Wednesday.
How many young girls are raised today too afraid to speak their own minds, scared of being attacked for having an opinion, fearful of being called bossy, arrogant? How many of them just stay silent? It's time to turn the corner on the all too familiar phenomenon of what happens when a woman speaks her mind. Because that's just what we are seeing today with Kristen Clark and with Vanita Gupta. Two brilliant and qualified women nominated for powerful roles within the Biden administration, smeared and vilified despite their qualifications and widely accepted views. Would this be happening if these were men nominated? What are you afraid of, senators? It's time to throw those double standards overboard for Clark and for Gupta. And for all the young women out there who yearn to lead, if only given examples to follow. It's time.
The Lincoln Project is responsible.
Representation matters, y'all. It's time to support brilliant and qualified women and not hold them back. And happy Women Rock Wednesday. But women, I want y'all to help me. I heard a term yesterday, and I just want y'all to help me with this term. They were describing somebody, I forget, it might have been Pierce, one of those British tabloids, some British tabloid. They described, what's Harry, the Harry Prince of Meghan Markle's ex, and I've never heard this term. What is a metrosexual beta male? What is a I said it, what is a metrosexual beta male? Y'all women, y'all help me with that one. It's a term that I've never heard, and I heard it yesterday, and I'd like to know what the hell. I want to hear from y'all. What the hell is a metrosexual beta male? So Jimmy, let's get down. I mean, I know you got a lot of stuff that happened last night, but I had to talk about my women. That women are very important to me. I'm gonna show you how important this Women Rock Wednesday is. I'm gonna show you how important it is. They doing it on Facebook. I got 5 phone calls this morning, 5 tweets this morning. They got a Women Rock Wednesday. It's called First Women First Take Women, something like that. I think they're gonna start doing every Wednesday on First Take. Somebody called me and said, Rob, let me tell y'all something, man. I don't care what nobody said. You as many people you know, maybe y'all influence them people. So Women Rock Wednesday, guess what? We influencing the whole country because they got they're gonna have a women's show on First Take every Wednesday. Shout out to Women Rock Wednesday today. What you got, Jimmy? You got it on mute, Jimmy.
We got special guests going to join us in the half past hour in a few, and a special in appreciation for the accomplishments that this young man is doing while leading a college basketball team. So he's going to join us shortly. Meanwhile, college basketball, of course, is the conference tournaments are in progress for various schools around the country. That was a good game last night out of Gonzaga. I watched a piece of that when I got in, and they received quite a scare. So if Baylor is watching it, and that's kind of like I think the country just wants to see Baylor and Gonzaga play for it all.
Well, Jimmy, they could have played it early in the season if it wasn't for contract, Trace.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the schedule. They weren't scheduled to play earlier, but I mean, so now this is what I think. It would make a great season if those two was to meet. Great see, it would be a cap. I mean, that's being from the state of Texas. You know, I understand it. Now, also high school basketball was last night, and the state semifinals transpired for all classifications last night, and there were some surprises, and there were some upsets, but you know, lo and behold, want to also first and start off and give props to the Huffman Falcons. The Huffman Falcons, they were your Class 4A Region 3 champions. They beat Bernie in the semifinals last night, and now they will play Argyle in the championship. Argyle upset Dallas Fate Family, Alan. So Fate Family, who had basically been penciled in to the championship game, to the state title, now they are the latest in the string of upsets or shockers that transpired this season in Class 4A. That's why you got to play the games. And I say it all the time. That's why upsets are called upsets. Hell, the word exists. So shout out to Huffman, man. They had some great energy in that building. Their crowd dwarfed the crowd of Bernie. And so I'm expecting Huffman to be really rocking in San Antonio. I mean, everybody had their red and white on. How do you know I was looking through that crowd to see if I could see some of them caps, making sure none of them caps. But and half
ain't
the crowd.
Nothing you can do about them if they had on them caps. Ain't nothing what you was gonna do.
No, what you do is that way I know. No, that way you know what's on their mind.
They got the caps. They got the caps.
That means you know what? You reserve the right to wear. But if I know what's on your mind, so I mean, if we go to the restroom together, I know what's on your mind. That way I'm gonna get some spacing and whatnot, because you know I know what's on your mind. Anything. But also, Beaumont United picked up the win 82-57 over Leander Glenn. Beaumont United rolled out the gate, jumped out 28-9, never looked back. Terrence Arsenault had 26 points. Traylon Porsche had 20 points. Wesley Yates added 11. I mean, that's 57 points right there from that big three. And the big three performance, trust me, this score is a lot closer than what the game actually was. That's a 25-point spread, 82-57. It could have been 50.
Okay.
It could have been 50.
Where is Huffman? Somebody help me. Where is Huffman?
Huffman is around the other side of Humble. So if you leave Atascocita, if you leave Atascocita and you go back that way instead of coming back toward Houston, you go back off 1960 and go back the other way and going back like you're going toward Crosby. Huffman is tucked off right next door, back up in there. Okay. So Huffman is right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
There's a lot of rural, living out there, some for more than most. But Huffman would now face Argyle, and that game would take place on Saturday at 2 p.m. So, which, like I said,
I don't want to sound, because I'm not from Texas. Y'all where in the hell is Argyle?
I think Argyle's up there near. It's not far from Dallas though. Up north.
Okay.
I've never been to Argyle.
Okay. My bad.
So now in the class 5A classification, I mentioned Beaumont Ozan with the win. Guess what? Dallas Kimball beat Amarillo in overtime, 60-56. They will face now Beaumont United.
Who's on Dallas Kimball's team?
That's the Morris, Ontario Morris, who was committed to Memphis.
Okay, cool. I like him. Yeah, like it.
So that means you get to see him going against opposite Terrence Arsenault.
What happened to Lancaster? Lancaster.
Well, they got Dallas Kimball beat them.
Okay, I just didn't hear about it, man. Y'all, people in Dallas, y'all ain't been letting us know what's going on. Let me know.
But they probably saying, "Well, hell, you ain't let us know when Silsby lost to Huffman. You ain't let them know when Yates lost to Silsby."
I got the show. They need to let me know so I can talk about it on the show. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
So that's the thing with Dallas Kimball. They've lost 10 games this year. Beaumont United is undefeated. So on paper, this sounds like Beaumont United is a heavy favorite. I don't think so because understand, although Beaumont United has beat Manville, and Manville, I think, was their toughest opponent all season long. In that game, remember, I was at that game and it went down to the wire. It was a 3-point game down the stretch, but they beat Crosby. And this the type of talent that Morris is, Beaumont United has. I don't think they've played against this type of an individual talent before this season. So it's going to be, but at the same time, Beaumont United is defense oriented. They have enough 6'4s, 6'5s, and 6'6s to maybe interchange on him. They know Morris. The thing is, if Morris is he has to have a great game for Dallas Kimball to beat Beaumont United. Okay. He has to have a great game.
Just like you said, the Predator didn't have no fangs last night. The Predator didn't have his weapons last night, man. What happened to the Predator last night?
Remember, I understand. I explained that yesterday.
You said they had to hit 40. You said
he had to get 40 for them to have a chance to beat Duncanville.
And Duncanville is a machine. What you said, Duncanville is like, playing against Duncanville is like a long weekend at your in-laws, man. That's what Duncanville is like, a long with some of them old crazy in-laws. You don't want no pause of that, Doc. Shout out to them, man. But I didn't mean to skip you, Jimmy, because you were still on United. United just came down I-10, opened up a can of whoopers on a team that I ain't never heard of, because I don't know where that city is in the state. Where's that city? What's the name of the team they beat? I don't even know the name of the team.
Glenn, Leander. That's in the shadows of Austin.
Okay. Okay, I've heard of Leander before. Okay, so and they gone on back to. Did you see any of them at the restaurants around there, at the pubs? Did you see it? Because I know you went and got you a sip.
No, I went across the street. And actually, I was with one of the coaches, so it was between games. You had an hour gap almost. So we just went the most convenient thing to go right to Applebee's, right across the street from Delmar Stadium, and went over there. And I found me a new dish. I ain't been there in a while, man. But they got a salad like in a bowl, a rice bowl like with the salad with. Oh man, that thing off the chain.
Don't salads come in a bowl anyway, Jimmy?
No, but like a little bowl, like a bowl to eat cereal in, like a bowl. It's a salad.
A big salad.
It has grilled shrimp in it with rice and the corn and the lettuce. That thing was off the chain, man. I mean, seriously, like all that thing do was like, oh yeah, that's the best thing on the menu. I'm like, but anyway, we are between the games. We went over there to over there and fellowship a little bit. Came back from Beaumont United, but I saw some of the people came in there and got them a sip or a drink or something to eat after the game. But Beaumont United, back to them. The only thing about Beaumont United is they're similar to Shadow Creek. They're not extremely deep, and that concerns me. Normally, a deep team, because that means anything can happen, because that's a little longer court you're going to play on, a little wider court, and in some instances. And so, but they play so good together, they're starting five, but they can't afford for nobody to get in foul trouble.
Who? What team is this?
Beaumont United.
Oh, okay.
Foul. So that's the thing. You just, and you know how foul troubles come. You're so nervous and you're anxious at the beginning of a game, and sometimes you can make a quick bobo, one foul. Then you're guarding somebody, reach in, two foul. Now you out the game. The whole rhythm is changed for your scout. That's how quickly it can happen.
Been there, Jimmy.
That's why certain teams like to go at a player in the first couple of possessions. That way you can determine how the referee is going to be calling the game.
So I got a question for my coaches on here, Coach. All my coaches on here, okay? Coach, would you rather your star player just let that guy go by them first couple times? How do you coach that? Because you know they used to do that. They used to do. I promise you, Matt. I went through that for 3 or 4 straight years in high school. My son was playing, and I used to tell him, "Dude, what the hell are you doing? You know they gonna call a foul on your little wild ass." I used to tell him that all the time. Don't touch nobody. So how, coaches, what do you tell your star player in the beginning of the game? Just let that play go. Let somebody else make that play. No, anybody ain't playing no zone, Walter Yates. Shit, he might get a foul within the zone. I'm just telling you, your star player, because who was that got into it? Like Cheeks. It's a tour. You got Chucks.
It happened to him.
It happened to him. I mean, it's called discipline, Matt. But what you mean discipline? What do you mean? Just because the kid's gonna foul, but you just tell him not to foul in the first 5 minutes. Let that guy go. What do you tell him, coaches? I just want to know, Jim. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of coaches. A lot of coaches are on the feed right now in the Boom Boom Room, in the Facebook or the YouTube. We ask you guys, won't you share the show right now, and we'll give it out. We'll let it go. Let the cat out the bag. In 5 minutes, we're going to be joined by Dennis Gates. He's the head coach at Cleveland State, and they just won their conference tournament. He's going to the big dance, taking that team to the big dance for the first time in about 11 years. And he just got the job a couple of years ago, back-to-back conference coach of the year. But anyway, Dennis Gates is going to join us in 4.5 minutes. Meanwhile, back to this conversation, coaches, he's asking you, what do you do? What do you do? And Matt Verdon says you slide your feet and communicate on the floor. If you get beat, scream help.
Okay, Matt, thank you. Somebody give me some. In other words, don't you try to get up in nobody, your star player. Don't you try to get up in nobody right away. That's what I would tell. And I'm just trying to figure out, man, don't you save yourself. But you got to understand, some kids are hyper aggressive. They trying to, we got some kids, well, not many. We got a few kids that just don't want the other guy to score. And Paul Miranda, Dennis Gates, Jimmy, right on cue. He was right on time, Jimmy. We might have to get him a little early to get him out of here. Huh?
We got 2 more questions while you get him queued up. Okay, and of course, Walt Yates say players have to learn to defend without reaching and move their feet, and it's a high school issue. Yeah, that's coming from a coach. I mean, but
Jimmy, who is Billy Harmon? Hardman.
What happened with Billy?
Oh, that's Coach. Oh, he with you, Coach. Okay, thank you, Coach. I'll let him on too. Okay, Coach, I wasn't gonna answer that phone, Coach. I got you, baby. Hey, man, we got some stuff going on over here. Hey, we got Coach them in the green room. They in there getting their makeup done and all that kind of stuff. Getting their wardrobe.
And that question I'm loving, because a lot of the coaches out there, whether it be grassroots coaches or high school coaches, are answering, giving their chiming in on the topic and the question. You ask, how do you avoid that? What's your tactic going into a big game with your star player? If you normally play man-to-man, if you normally play primarily man-to-man is your defense,
right?
And your team is not deep.
Okay.
What do you do to avoid that star player from getting into foul trouble, possibly?
Especially them 2 quick fouls. Them 2 quick fouls.
That's all it takes. Your whole scout is going down. It's like wasting coffee on your office desk. The whole thing is messed up. You can recover, but it's messed up out the gate.
Okay.
And if the other team is capitalizing on that, you're done.
Gotcha.
You're done. You're playing uphill the rest of the game. So Paul Miranda say Cleveland State has LeBron High School. Little Drew Jr. is definitely on the staff. We're gonna talk about that in shortly. And as soon as Haller gets him queued up,
I got him queued. They ready. They waiting on you to quit. As soon as you stop talking, I'm gonna bring Coach them in.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna toss that question
to Coach.
College
coach. Okay. All right, let's do it right now.
And see how it differs.
Jimmy,
in the ideology. Jimmy, we have joining us guys right on cue. I'm talking about this a brother that we go way, way back. And as you guys know, understand something. As much as Haller like to talk, I can't bring college coaches on here every day. Hell, he wouldn't even get to talk. He would blow up of spontaneous combustion if I brought a coach on here every day to talk on here. We just spread it out.
Coach, look who talking, Coach. Coach, look who talking. I know you over there saying, I can't believe he just came out of his mouth.
We got Dennis Gates joining us right now, man. He's the head coach at Cleveland State, and they are fresh off of winning the mid-conference championship. Hey, man. And also, back-to-back coach of the year.
Oh, yes.
Despite only being there for what? How long you been there? 3 years? 43?
2 years. 2 years.
2 years, man. And you done ran the table twice. You done ran the table in 2 years.
Yeah, man. I've been fortunate to have my peers vote for me as coach of the year twice in my first 2 years as a head coach. Definitely an honor.
Coach, before we get right into it, congratulations on the win last night. Winning your Horizon League. I said the mid-continent. That was the old winning the Horizon League. Congratulations on that, you and your program. You had to, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, I want to toss the question to you so we can put it to rest. What's your logic if you're going into a big game and you're not that deep, right? And you have a star player who operates, he can operate all over the court. He's your guy. How do you avoid him from getting 2 quick early fouls? What are some things that some coaches can do?
I mean, you got to be prepared to make in-game adjustments and do something that you may not always believe in, and that's play a zone. You got to be prepared for that, but you got to also be prepared to switch ball screens that keeps guys in position without being in rotation. But the last thing is you got to put them on the weakest link on the other team. You got to protect them that way.
I like that. Coach.
Great, but great players can play regardless and should be smart enough to know what they should avoid.
But coach, it happens all the time, coach. Those great players you're talking about, they sometimes they get them, and then they look to the bench and tell you, I'm all right, and you still say, man, no, you come out here and sit with me.
No, that's young people thinking they can conquer the world. That's how we treat them. That's how we teach them. You know, we want them to get through some adversity, and they just want to, you know, at that point make the decisions. But we got to protect them from themselves sometimes too. Now.
Yeah, but coach, I got to give you this one, coach. I'm mad at Jimmy. Okay, when I told him to bring you on the show, he sent me a message. I mean, I requested you. You were talked about this morning. I was talking to you to Chris Walker this morning.
Okay,
I get off the phone. Chris told me I know him. I said, okay. So I text Jimmy. Jimmy, do you know Coach? I said, I got to have you on the show. But Coach, I wanted you to come on the show tomorrow because I'm going to tell you why. I had it queued up for me to study. Coach, they did a halftime during one of your games. And they talked about John McClendon. And they were talking about you and him and tied you with him, Coach. And I saw it, but I wanted to go back and research it. So I had it queued up for me to watch tonight. And Jimmy gonna text me talking about Coach will be here at 12:30. I'm mad. That's why I'm mad, Coach, because I didn't get a chance to because I wanted to. Dude, it was unbelievable. I taped it. I'm gonna keep it.
Coach, you know what you tell him? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
I know it.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Hey, let me say this, Robert, Jimmy. Let me say this, man. Now, Tom has an interesting way. Coach Rav always says this to me. Tom has an interesting way of putting people, places, things in their rightful places, right? Putting people, events in their rightful places in history. There's no basketball coach or basketball guru that should know about John McClendon from top to bottom.
Right.
That's what I believe.
Right.
But along the way, no matter what racism has taken place that has taken him away from being etched in stone, no different than a John Wooden, no different than James Naismith. This is the one person that diversified higher education college athletics. And guess what? It was done at Cleveland State. So Jimmy, when people was telling me this a bad job, George Ravel and Leonard Hamilton taught me who John McClendon was. I couldn't look at Cleveland State as a bad job because these are the same sidelines that John McClendon walked, and Cleveland State University had enough courage to get his black man the first opportunity at a predominantly white institution.
Wow. Coach,
preach. And so now, and you took this job, and there were people, as you just mentioned, there were a lot of people that questioned, why would you take that job? That's not a good job. That's a bad job. You were at Florida State, you know, 8 years or so, 8 or 9 years before then. And went to the NCAA tournament. 7 of those 9 years you were there, and including the Elite 8. You got it. I mean, with Ham, you took this job, and people attempted to discount it, and you just explained part of your pushback. Why do people? Why do you think they attempted to discount Cleveland State?
Let me say this. People don't know the history of Cleveland State, i.e., they don't know John McClendon walked the sidelines in higher education here, right? As the first black man to do it. They don't know that. The other thing is people throw their insecurities onto you, and you have to protect your dreams. Well, maybe a great job for someone else isn't a great job for Dennis Gates. Maybe a bad job for someone else is a great job for me. And Leonard Hamilton's first job, Oklahoma State, they was dormanted from the NCAA tournament since the 40s. His second job, Miami, they were independent before they even got in the conference. His third job was Florida State. They were in the bottom of the ACC in the basement, never thought of as a basketball opportunity, and look where they are now. George Ravelin's first job was at Washington State, Iowa, USC. These dudes was making $30,000, $40,000. At what point did money become a part of the responsibility and platform of a ministry or mentorship? These dudes have poured into so many people's lives. They've poured into my life, and I'm fortunate enough to have their guidance, because their guidance, I'm not miseducated on what my goals are. Without educators and coaches, Dennis Gates ain't even on this platform from inner city Chicago. It took a coach or educator to put their arm around me and said, look, they held up a mirror and said, this is the best version of yourself. Make sure you not run from that reflection. You're a great leader. You can make it out of here and be something. Without that headlock and that hug, I'm nothing, man. Wow. I'm absolutely nothing. And that is the most important thing. And the last thing I'll say is this. We coach kids for 4 years, high school, whether a high school coach or a college coach, 4 years at a time. That's a fleeting moment. But guess what we always remember? When we 30, 40, 50. Man, I remember when coach told me, come on, man, it's impactful. And we're impactful people in these positions. And it's not about money, man. My biggest reward is trying to save a life, getting invited to a wedding, getting invited to a big time decision in that kid's life. So George Raveling, Leonard Hamilton, I thank them every day, but they not even standing in their situation. John Thompson's not standing where he was as a coach. John Chaney wasn't doing it without their mentor, John McClendon. And those are facts.
I believe.
Now, would you taking over a program? And I want to ask you the process, because right now we're in a tough time coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people, get your thoughts on this. First of all, in the pandemic, last year, 2020 was a mother.
Right.
Especially down in this part of the country, because because the thing that triggered attention and focus was May the 26th, and that was the tragic death of George Floyd.
No question.
Immediately afterward, a lot of people had a lot of pushback. A lot of people basically were saying "shut up and dribble" to a lot of people in basketball ranks. How did that affect your program? What did you and because now you were going through the stuff with the Star Spangled Banner and this and that and all that. Right. What happened within your players and your program? How did you guys cope, or how did the players want to express themselves after last summer, so to speak?
Right. Now let me give you this. You going hey, put on your seatbelt.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's ride. Let's ride.
Put on your seatbelt. They didn't have to cope with anything because I was doing it before George Floyd. I was teaching them what the lift every voice and sing was. I was talking about police brutality before that. I was talking about what the impact of diversity. In the city of Cleveland, I don't know if you know this, Reverend Otis Moss II, who marched alongside of Martin Luther King, is in the city. One of the first stops I made was to John McClendon's grave and to talk to Otis Moss Jr. Now, who's gonna have to cope if you just said it best? Hey, Rob, didn't he tell you? You don't have to get ready if you stay ready.
Stay ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, we talk about these topics. We talk about them. Right. And we educate kids on this. Check this out. I grew up in inner city Chicago. Every morning, every single morning when the bell rang, we had a black mayor in the city of Chicago, Harold Washington.
Yes.
Every Chicago public school played on the intercom, lift every voice and sing every single day. Every single day. And that gave you a sense of pride. It gave me a sense of pride. And those lyrics are unbelievable lyrics, man. Yeah. And the message of the people that I was around taught me and prepared me that I have a responsibility. I have 2 younger brothers. I had to prepare them. Everything I did, they did. So ideally, when I see a young student athlete, I see my brothers staring back at me, the ones that I helped raise. So we have a different responsibility in all this, and that's Hey man, imagine Rodney King beating and social media at that same time. Think about this. Think about this in the early 90s. This generation has a gift and a curse. They got the power in their hand that we kind of complain about. Man, why are they always on their phones? But they have the power in their hand to make a change better than more generations have, because the information they got in their palm changes so quick.
Yes.
And the sharing of this information became global with the George Floyd situation. It's not going to be the last, unfortunately.
Right.
The fabric of our country was built a certain way. It was built a certain way, and we're going to continue to deal with those residual impacts of racism, diversity, sexism, whatever it is that under the sun that differentiates people. It's going to be a while for us to get through it. But what we have seen was people come together during these moments and reflect, because it was in the middle of a pandemic and we could never, ever be in a position, Jimmy, where the information was deflected because the world around us was paused.
Wow.
We had to deal with it face on.
I got a question for you, Coach. It's Women Rock Wednesday here. On Wednesday, it's Women Rock Wednesday. So we celebrate women every day, but we give them the day to day. And do you have any women on your staff?
No, I don't have any women on my staff. I was looking at, I did look at some women, without a doubt. Okay. One of my best friends, Tavares Hardy over at Loyola, he's hired, a young lady who's a great coach. But check this out. We shouldn't be referring to, he hired a lady. No, he hired a great coach. Right. A great player development coach. It don't matter race. It doesn't matter sex. She's a great coach. A great coach that's a very good teacher, but between the lines. And when you think about what she's able to give, if you look at it on a sheet of paper, her resume is stronger than a whole lot of dudes that's been in Power Fives and in this business for a long time. So you got to think about, okay, just because she's a woman, she's not getting an opportunity. Well, at some point in time, man, it's going to be a head women's coach in the NBA. And I'm sure it'll happen again on the men's side, where there's more women represented on both sides, because it's done on the women's side. You see males coaching women. That's right. There's some basketball brainiacs out there that's very, very good and can run circles around even me when it comes to coaching. So I respect it, man. I definitely respect it. And basketball is a tool, it's a compass that we use to change our lives and impact people.
And so now, Coach, you've been at Cleveland State for 2 years, and
yes, sir.
Very successful. Now the question is, a lot of times when coaches come into a new program, after the first year, they have to play with the hand they're dealt with. How many players in this Horizon League championship squad are newcomers? You had to bring them in since you've been there. Versus,
so we have a roster of 17 guys, including walk-ons, and there is 6 returning guys who I did not recruit. Guys that they were here, I stepped into their world, I met them on their turf, and I did not invite them here. They were already here. They are welcoming me. So it was 6 out of the 17.
So out of them 6, how many of them are starters?
2 of them are starters.
Okay.
2 of them are starters, but 2 of them never started.
2 others.
So basically, this team
never started until I got here.
So basically, this team this year is primarily your players for the most part.
They were my players when I first signed that.
Well, I'm talking about, I mean, that you invited, the ones you invited.
No, they all my players, man.
Okay.
That's how I look. And you got to understand the conversation I had with them. I said, I thank you guys for opening the doors for me. This is your institution. You're inviting me here. I respected them going through the transition, but I also respected that They chose Cleveland State before Cleveland State chose me. You guys are my players. I'm going to love on you no different than I love on anybody I invite.
Coach,
no different.
That's the first time I've ever heard a coach say it like that. First time.
But I'm saying that's what the kids heard, and that's what they felt. And they know good and well. One thing is this: we build our program on 8 core values: friendship, love, accountability, trust, discipline, unselfishness, enthusiasm, and toughness. There is not one action that is not filtered through those 8 core values. And guess what? If those core values are disrespected, they know I'm not treating them any different than anybody else in the program. And at that point, they pour in what they get out.
Input equals output.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So now I have a question for the people that are watching out there. NCAA is widely believed that most players will have the opportunity. Well, the programs have an opportunity for their players to repeat their seasons next year, their classifications. With that being said, how should a parent out there, and we keep it real, that really don't understand what that means for the high school player?
Right.
From your part, what does this mean, and what does it mean for the parent? Just break it down.
Let me say this. Take a gallon of milk. It's full. You trying to fit another gallon in there. Ain't no room. There's no room. There's no room. So that spillage is going to seep down to non-student athletes with an education who quote unquote want to say, I want to be Division I. They're going to have to go to Division II, Division III, NJCAA, or even repeat high school again. So ultimately, you're trying to fit another gallon of milk within a gallon that's already full. There's no space. Wow. There's no space. And it's going to be very difficult for young people to realize this because they don't want to open their eyes to the real issues that's happening. They just want to say, oh, this school ain't recruiting me. This school, oh, I'm too good for that. No. Opportunity that's there has to be re-examined because the same opportunities that you thought was happening based off the numbers of opportunities present, there's no output. There's no exiting. There's nothing happening. There's no elasticity in the system. So you're going to either hit a breaking point or spillage, and those kids got to land somewhere. And some of them gonna be fighting against building relationships against somebody that really wants them versus where they really want to go. So that's going to contribute to the transfer portal even larger. And guess what? This is not a just 1 year problem. Yeah. It's 4 years. Yes. 4 years. Everybody for the next 4 years is impacted. Every high school freshman is impacted. Every high school sophomore, junior, and senior. Yes. Because guess what? Every freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior in college is getting an extra year back. That's right. So it's not just a 1 year problem. Wow. It's simple mathematics, man.
Hey guys, I hope you guys hope you're listening. You just
Coach,
tune in.
I'm gonna use that gallon of milk, Coach. I'm gonna use that one.
It's real.
I mean, and so now, even with the junior colleges, it's a backlog all over everywhere that's feeding into Division I's. So now, how does this work? Let's say, I mean, for people that don't really know, not necessarily you, but how has it worked in your past experience? There are kids on every roster in college right now that coaches know that they're not going to bring back the following year. It's kind of like an exit meeting. When do those take place? And give us an example how that conversation goes.
Well, I actually had my exit meetings before the season even started when the rule came out. I said, we're not going to revisit this until at the end of the year. Is there anybody who knows that they don't want to ever come back? We had a couple guys raise their hand. We're good. So at that point, they're telling me they're not coming back. This was involving their parents and the kid. So we already know who potentially would not be coming back. ultimately, when that happens, you're not going to know because no one is binded by anything. First of all, you got to find out if your institution can support the extra scholarships. Because if they do that for the men's side, they got to do it for the women's side. It's almost like Title IX. You got to have equal scholarship count. So what the money and the finances has to make sense. Some schools may not even allow it to happen. Understand that now. Some schools can say we're not allowing it. Some kids don't even want to go to grad school who graduate. So they're going to expire their clock regardless. I just truly think if you err on the side of honesty, you'll be okay. And most of them have to err on the side of honesty. And you got to ask the hard questions with your coach. But most importantly is this. Understand the same thing is happening in junior college. So imagine a kid that doesn't qualify out of high school. The junior colleges are giving years back to these kids too. There's going to be a lot of displaced kids who have to go to NAIA schools now because guess what? They won't even be able to go to JUCOs because the JUCO numbers are going to be expanded to its maximum level.
So, and we get ready to land it soon. We got a couple minutes left. And the coach want to ask you, of course, the elephant in the room today. You know, your program definitely. I mean, Horizon League champions, and then shortly after your victory, your assistant coach, one of your assistant coaches, got up and got to the rim, cut the net, and released a jubilant cheer. A statement out that we all heard before. Take us to that moment. Was that pre-rehearsed? Did you say he was going to do it, or did it just come out like that?
We have great relationships with our guys, but most importantly, we practice cutting nets down. When we won the regular season title at midnight, we went to our home gym off the road. We had nets and scissors and ladders prepared, and we practiced that moment. And while Coach Joyce went up the first time around at our home court, they said, Coach, do the LeBron. Coach, do the LeBron. And he cut it down and said, Cleveland, this is for you. Right? And in that moment last night, man, they said, Coach, you got to do it. Coach, they just kept bugging him. He couldn't resist, man, because when you see those young people, when you love on them a certain way and they just request that one thing, man, to see the smile on their face and the energy that exuberates from it, man, they enjoyed that more than anybody that saw it on ESPN. But it's an instant classic. Coach Joyce has done a tremendous job for us. I actually gave him an opportunity. He was a player overseas. I recruited him on my staff. I said, man, come on home and be a coach, man. You got all this knowledge. You got all this wisdom. Come pass it to these young fellas, man. And he comes from the home of Coach Drew Joyce, the second Hall of Fame coach. Guy, been in the game for a long time. And he's a great, great dude, man. And we're lucky to have him with us. And he's a great coach, Jimmy. He's a great coach. He's a great coach. Student
of the game. You could tell that way back in the early in the early 2000s when he was in high school. You can just tell some guys were students of the game. And
hey, you know what I tell everybody?
What?
He the only person that told LeBron he can't bring the ball up. He the only person.
He listened to him.
There you go. He the only person.
That's interesting. But Coach, before you leave, Coach, I read this article this morning briefly, but the headline got me, Coach. And I know you're going. When I tell you, you probably have already read it. It's in USA Today, and it said in bizarre men's basketball season, coaches with lower pay make an NCAA tournament impact. That's the heading. Coaches, so they're talking about when Greg Marshall left and Isaac Brown came in after him and what he was making. They just talk about the coaches with lower pay is going to make a great, great impact on the NCAA tournament. In other words, lower paid coaches are handling this impact, this pandemic better, they say, than some of the Power 5 guys. I mean, Coach, it's a great. I hadn't read it all because I was reading a little bit before the show. I just saw it before the show came on. I can't wait to go and dive into it deeper. But USA Today, great article. Check it out today if you have a chance. And
no, I'm gonna definitely check it out.
Okay.
Now, I want to ask you, speaking of Isaac, of Zeke Brown, Coach Brown at Wichita State, and what's the? Don't you get your thoughts on him getting the job and the length that it took for the administration to make it official, and then also compare that. I want to get your thoughts on the same. Something similar is happening down in Texas at Texas State with Terrence T.J. Johnson, who won the league. They came in third place last year. He took over as an interim tag, and if this boss had to resign, he leads them to the championship,
absolutely
first place, and they still yet to make him official.
Well, let me say this. I think we got to all err on the side of patience. First of all, the amount of success that those two dudes have had under the circumstances that they were given the opportunity to move over in the seat, that's respect among respect, because that's the hardest way to interview. That's the hardest way to get a job, to get pushed in that seat and then have to, unprepared, you would think, but they were ready for the moment and they didn't run from it. And that speaks to the volume of the relationship that they had with that player, with that program, that they didn't skip a beat. They didn't skip a beat. Now, my respect is this. I reached out to both of them. You know, I told them, guys, if you ever need help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm proud of you guys. The world is watching. And guess what? They both delivered. They both delivered. So if those institutions wasn't or isn't going to hire them, man, guess what? They showed the entire business, the entire world, what they can do as a leader of men. And that's that institution's loss. That's not their loss. That's the institution's loss. If they didn't want to put them dudes in that seat permanently. Wichita State did the right thing. He was changing lives, man. And he was doing so for a long time in this business. And guess what? You still tell me this. This is the issue I got, Jimmy.
Okay.
Our business is so competitive that you telling me he good enough to coach at Wichita, but not any other institution? You telling me that now? But it's unfortunate he didn't get the opportunity. Our business is so competitive, man. It's so little spaces to get in that, and so many good dudes, great dudes. There's so many great players that don't get to the NBA. There's so many great college coaches, leaders, who may never and have never become head coaches. Now you look at TJ. Look, man, if Texas Southern don't want to do it, I'm not in the business. I'm not athletic director. It's Texas State, right?
Yeah.
Texas State. Yeah. I'm not an athletic director. That's their job. I'm not a college president. That's their job.
Right.
But I am a college coach, and I know what a college coach looks like.
Right.
And he looked like one. He's produced the results of one. And what I'm gonna say to you now is this: if they don't want to permanently put him in that seat, somebody else will, man. That just means that wasn't the right place at the right time for him. Because guess what? TJ is a praying man.
Yeah.
And guess what? His steps are already ordered. And somebody else gonna give him the platform to serve and give his ministry to these young people. And guess what? This is where we all mess up at. He can still fulfill those promises at the high school level, Division II level, junior college level, Division I level, Power 5 level, because guess what? we don't sleep after losses and we don't sleep after wins because we are pouring into these dudes' lives, man. And it's all the same at the end of the day. How many lives have you impacted or touched or changed? Don't get into this inflation of chasing the money. Chase your passion. TJ just as happy when he was coaching AAU in Texas. He was doing a heck of a job then pouring into them kids' lives.
Yeah.
You don't think he ain't gonna find peace if that's not where he's meant to be? He's gonna find it.
Right.
He's a great dude.
Coach, Coach, I know you got to go, man, but Coach, this Women Rock Wednesday, Coach. Somebody just put something on the screen. Let me tell you something. It's Women Rock Wednesday. You got a woman that rocks that lives in your house. You got your wife rock. Your wife, come on, man. Before you get off, I'm not gonna let you get off this show without shouting out. Is it Jocelyn or Jocelyn Gates?
Jocelyn.
Wow, man. Hey, y'all, she is the AD of Boston College.
He's the deputy AD.
But Coach, she still rock, Coach. She still rock with me, man. Somebody put it on the screen, and you know
she the Kamala Harris of the athletic department.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was
she does a great job in her career, man. She's definitely well known, and she's worked her way into her rightful space. And you know, hey, we are who we are as men. And at the end of the day, we're overachieving. And you know, my hat's off to what she's been able to do in a competitive space.
Yes.
And obviously doing it at the level that she's doing it speaks for itself. So it's definitely Women's Rock Wednesday. But definitely thanks for shouting her out.
Okay. All right.
Say, Hannah. Hey, that might get you in the cookout now.
Oh yeah.
That might get you in the cookout now. So thanks, man, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, man. Coach Dennis Gates of Cleveland State, the Vikings, the 2021 Horizon League champions, guys, headed to the big dance for only the third time. First time since 2009. Thanks so much, brother. I see you out there, man. That's my man.
So much.
Hey, we out, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
We go to quick break.
Yeah, get Coach out.
Some more.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy, I knocked Jimmy off, but we're gonna go to a break. Jimmy be back in a minute. Let me get me on, and we'll be back. Let's go. Let's go talk to our people. Let's see. Let's go right here.
Tammy Allen here, your relationship coach. Tell me, do you and your partner feel like you're struggling to communicate and have begun living like roommates? No need to worry. I can teach you new, healthy communication skills to improve your relationship. I provide coaching via teleconferencing from the convenience of any location, including your own home. Call me today to schedule your first appointment at 713-597-4499, or you can find more information at my website, www.allencounselinggroup.com. I look forward to working.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. Had a great conversation with Coach Dennis Gates. Unbelievable, man. Jimmy, I didn't know you was going to get him that fast. Man, is just great coach. Great insight. I mean, he's different. I mean, you can tell. I mean, we've had, Jimmy, I think your last count of our last count, and we got new people on the show. There's 352 Division I coaches. Jimmy.
Head coaches.
Head coaches. And Jimmy, we've had over 100 of them on this show throughout this time. We had over 100, I think. I think it might be more than that. Yeah, but we had and it's just so unique. He had a unique. That's what I love about this show, because I mean, I never met him. I've heard of him, but he following in some big footsteps up there at Cleveland State, man. And shout out to him. But I know what else going on. Jimmy got a lot of stuff. I got some Jimmy, I got some highlights from the weekend they sent me. Let me splash a little. They got a couple of little things that happened this weekend. I mean, yesterday.
Yesterday.
Dude's pull-up game is something deadly. What is his name? Jacob Harvey?
Yeah, Jacob Harvey. He signed with Trinity. And I had a guy last night didn't understand. And he was like, man, why did he go there? I say, man, stop. Every time a player has a good game, everybody think that they signed at the wrong level. Jacob Harvey, understand, first of all, he's not even 6 feet tall. And he went to the right level where a player like him can go and play and transfer their skill set. Yeah. Trinity is perfect for him, and he's not a Division I prospect right now. Yeah, we don't know a year from now, but right now he's not. Right, yeah, understand? Now you can play like a Division I prospect, but that doesn't necessarily mean you are a Division I prospect. Remember this stuff, guys.
I like that. I love it.
And that's what
I got some more, Jimmy. Hold up, Jimmy.
Hey, some more. And hold on. By the way, before you go to the next one, that was Huffman. By the way, guys, Huffman Hargrave. Okay. That's the school that we talked about earlier that won that beat Silsby last week. That also beat Leander Glenn. Beat Bernie last night at Delmar. That action was from Delmar Fieldhouse. Okay. The number 10 is the kid we were talking about. That's Jacob. And that's the one that was hitting the jumpers. Yeah. Number 2 is the little point guard. I told you got the razzle dazzle to him, and that's Gabe Cardenas. And Gabe is a smooth selling. And the other kid you saw in there, number 22 is Jesse. Can't think of Jesse's last name. Okay. But great congrats to Huffman Hargrave.
Okay.
Who we got next?
Landon Artwan don't like them that much for some reason. I wonder
why.
Well, I know. I'm playing. I'm just playing. Hold on. Let me get some Beaumont United in the building.
3-pointer, Wesley Ace. Terrence Arsenal.
I like that Arsenal, Jimmy. I like that Arsenal.
Yeah. That's Terrence Arsenal. We talked about him earlier, and the only difference is, and I'm gonna tell you the difference is, at some point, this is how you're gonna know when Terrence Arsenal has turned the corner. I'm gonna show you something, and I'm gonna describe something, and you show that 20-second clip again. I'm gonna describe it first. His trot back up the court after a bucket is going to change. That's going to turn into a different degree of swagger. when he turned the corner and picks it all together, it's a different whole way that you go back down the court than what he's doing right now. Right now, understand, Terrence Arsenault is just, this stuff happened so fast for him. Last summer, the pandemic, not much basketball being played. He excelled everywhere he went. Every camp that he went to, he caught eyeballs. And so then every time he went somewhere, he was like, well, let's see if he can do it over here. He does it. Well, let's see if he can do it over here. He goes over there and play. Every place he went to, whether it be Houston, Dallas, and that's pretty much the primary places he played at, he showed up and showed out. Now, watch. Let me tell you something. This is with him playing like this. Wait until that swagger gets in and hits another gear, and watch out what I'm talking about to say how he run back down the court. He's just watch. Play this, watch it, and watch him run down the court.
3-pointer, Wesley Yates. Terrence Arsenault. Terrence Arsenault.
Yeah, Jimmy, you could have talked. I was trying to let you know we could have talked over it.
Oh, I didn't know that, but you could have. And so that's what I'm saying. He's just scratching the surface.
Okay.
Remember, he has another year left. He has another year left of high school. He has a whole year left of
summer.
school.
He got a summer. Where's he playing this summer?
He's playing this summer with the JL3, John Lucas Enterprise. He's going to be one of their anchors on that particular program, and they'll make their debut at the spring icebreaker in a week and a half. Jim, and that's going to be.
He must be a great kid, right? Because Walter Yates don't give nobody credit. He said he's really a humble kid, won't change. But this kid got to be, oh my God, because Walter Yates will find a problem with the Pope. So, Terrence,
the wrong type of toilet paper, huh?
Yeah. Hey, he'll say something, but that's unique, man. I can't wait to see him in person. Hope we can get. Hey, Jimmy, I got that one shot. So I got to wait how many more days? The 28th?
21.
Yeah, on the 28th for this month. I'm back in there again on y'all, baby. Hey, Jimmy, I done leveled up a little bit, Jimbo. We was I kind of like this. I kind of like this, right? Y'all been buying that, right? Jimmy. Then I find out they got this, Jimmy. Jimmy, it's bigger. This, Jimmy.
That's your move. That's your move right there, huh?
Yeah, Jimmy, that little ball don't work no more. Hey, wait till I get to getting it in. I had to get that Magnum, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, that wasn't enough. Hey, when we get to celebrate, and then they just threw this one in there. Jimmy, they said, it's all made by the same company, Robert. So we got to throw a little Mosey Rose in there too now. Got to throw a little Mosey Rose. I sit there and said, Y'all give me big boy bottles now. I said, Jimmy like the big bottle of Crown. Give me the big bottle of champagne. You feel me? So I had to let you know. Did you drink last night, Jimmy? So you back the norm.
Now. Well, I remember I had red wine all March.
Okay.
Right since March started. Last night. I kind of sift in. I had a what they call the apple lager. What they call it? The
apple the crown apple.
No. I didn't drink no hard liquor yet. Not until this weekend. It's like a beer, but it's not really a beer. It's got the
apple
red,
beer.
It got like an apple taste. You guys help me out with that. You know what I'm talking about. I had one of them. I can't think of the name of the joint. The thing.
Hey,
but
Corey asked me where I get that. Hey, Corey, I get it from the getting place. If I tell you, I kill you. I have to kill you. There's a lot more in there where that come from. I couldn't bring it all out. Yeah,
man. And give a shout to Jeffrey Day for providing the video
Yes.
of the highlight clips from last night. Those are from last night's game. And yeah, what is Angry Orchard or something like no,
Angry
not
Bird.
Orchard.
Look who
No,
knows.
not Angry Bird.
It's
It's not the name of it. It's something. Y'all, come on, y'all tripping.
Man,
Y'all know the name of the stuff.
why you drinking stuff and you don't know what it is?
I know what it is. I've had it before. I used to drink them before. That was my go-to. I'm trying to think of y'all can't remember the name. They sell them everywhere. It's like it has an apple flavor to it, and it's like a near beer. It's like and they sell them in the bars and everything else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And they got a certain brand
Apple
of it.
Orchard. Apple Orchard.
Apple Orchard. That's it.
Oh, okay. I ain't never heard of it, Jim. That is movie talk.
I mean, that's like if you don't want a beer, it's a good filler. So that means I just I hadn't drank no beer per se, and hadn't drank no hard liquor.
Can you drink some champagne? Because that's just like wine.
That's just like it, but I've been drinking red, and I've been drinking nothing but red.
Oh, red. Okay.
In March.
I'm just letting you know. And when I pop the start to pop it in magnums, I got to have more people to drink it with. I can't just drink that by myself. I got to have some more people. Yeah. So what else we got, man?
And of course, in the news.
Oh yes.
He said, "Oh yes." We go around the horn.
I know.
And it's a matter of which topic you want to start at. But we'll start with the easy topic.
Okay.
And something that, how about this? Every year when you go into the Final Four, a month before the Final Four, they always release the names of the Hall of Fame finalists. Yeah. And then during the Final Four, they would have a actual presentation, official announcement of the finalists. Then they'll get inducted that August or September in Springfield, Massachusetts. Well, this year's class, Paul Pierce, Chris Webber, Chris Bosh, Michael Cooper, Ben Wallace are the men, and Yolanda Griffin and Lauren Jackson are the ladies.
Ben Wallace?
Regardless of how this morphs out, this may be one of the weakest Hall of Fame classes in modern day history, regardless of the outcome.
Is Tim
Hell, if
Hardaway?
all of them get in.
Is Tim Hardaway? Why he said congratulations to his guy Tim Hardaway? That is Moody. He wasn't on there. No,
he's not among the.
No, yeah.
Is he?
But Ben Wallace, I never thought of him as a Hall of Famer. Never.
I mean, I thought him as a guy Ben Wallace, he was a rebounder. He put up numbers while rebounding. He helped personify the movement where make it, the hair, the afro with the headband. He helped personify the movement in a time where hair was a signature for coming out of the Allen Iverson era, back in the NBA. But then I didn't realize here's some notables who did not make the cut for the class. I just named the finalists, but Chauncey Billups did not make the cut, but Ben Wallace did. Rip Hamilton did not make the cut. And two young ladies, Swin Cash and Becky Hammond. I'm surprised Becky Hammond didn't make the cut as well. And
Chris Bosh, this is his second time.
It's his second time?
Yeah.
So remember
Jimmy,
now.
Hey, Jimmy, they got Tim Hardaway. Yeah.
He's on there?
Yeah. Thank you, Dad. Man, my bad.
Thank you. But they didn't even mention him in the they didn't even mention him, but they said it among the finals.
Yeah, these were, and Tim been up before. Marcus Johnson, Jimmy, that was my hero when I was a youngster.
With the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, not with UCLA. I used to like him with UCLA. Jimmy, they didn't never lose. Him and Bill Walton, I think they might have lost one game. Oh, CIAA Ben Wallace. See, that's the unique thing about the Naismith Hall of Fame. It takes into account your whole basketball career, Jimmy, not just your NBA career.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how it's your contributions to basketball.
Yeah.
That's why I remember when
Yeah.
I went a few years ago, George Raveling,
Yes.
and there was not just him, but there's other people that made it that didn't necessarily play basketball, didn't play in the NBA, didn't coach in the NBA. It's your contributions, period,
Yeah.
to the game. And so that enables some people to get up in there.
Yeah.
But shout out to those guys.
Jimmy, he was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Jimmy 3 times. Shoot, they give Rudy Gobert $200 million just to be a Defensive Player of the Year. So hey, man, yeah, I know what you're saying, but yes, I'm all right with Ben. I'm all right with Ben. And Marcus Johnson, I'm really all right with him. That was my hero. That's the dude. And White Man Can't Jump said, "I'm about to go get my other gun." You remember that, Jimmy? You must know, man. Are you reading? But Jimmy, I was laughing about, what do you think, Jimmy? You got to realize, y'all, I got to talk about this Myers Leonard thing because I didn't know until early this morning. I did not know what he said because they didn't print it everywhere, Jimmy. What Myles Leonard, if you've been under a rock, Myles Leonard, basketball player for I think Miami Heat. Let me read this thing. He apologized and said he was deeply sorry after using an anti-Semitic slur during a Call of Duty live. Jimmy, do you know I got on video how it happened? Did you hear it? Have you heard it?
I know I haven't heard it, but I'm thinking by the process of elimination, his slur had to be directed at the Jewish community.
Yes, that's why everything happened so fast.
That's why it got swift movement on his ass real quickly because it was big, period. And then Edelman, the former wide receiver with the New England Patriots, penned an open letter to him, basically saying, a good PR move for Edelman to do it openly because Edelman could have got his cell phone number and texted it to him. But it was a good PR moment and a teachable moment.
Think about this, Jimmy. Think about this. You can tell our kids, y'all got to stay on the plantation. You get a 1 game in suspension. Okay? Y'all follow me here. You're the one, and then they bring you back. And I know it's a private school, but I don't want to hear that mess. Les Miles kiss a girl, kiss a co-head, or talk to some co-heads, he gets fired. Myles Leonard mentioned a word that I didn't even know was a bad word. I've never used this word before in my entire life. And I'm going to let y'all hear it because I had to look it up. I never heard this word. I've heard it on the movie, but I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. Check this out.
Let's go, baby.
Fucking cowards. Don't fucking snipe me, you fucking kike bitch. I just dropped that on my head. That didn't even go to fucking... anyways.
I didn't know that word. I thought that word was a German word. I promise you, I did not know it was offensive to the Jewish people. I did not know that. And y'all, you know what made me think about something, Jimmy? How swift. Jimmy, you said that, Jimmy, then you got to remember, Jimmy, Mickey Arison and his son, who owns the Miami Heat, they're Jewish.
Yeah.
They're Jewish. So, Jim, and I thought about something, Jimmy. Y'all take this back. Did y'all see Straight Outta Compton? Did anybody see Straight Outta Compton? Okay? Straight Outta Compton, I can't play it because it's too much cursing. I couldn't play it. I didn't want to get us shut off. Jimmy, it was when Ice Cube had to diss Eazy-E on this song. Y'all know the song. And talking about it. Gary Keller, who is the Jewish dude was handling their money, who was cheating them out of their money or whatever, he listened to the whole thing. But he didn't get mad and turn it off. He talked about everybody around the board. But he turned the recording off, Jimmy, when he said, "You let a Jew come between friends." Get what Jerry Keller said? "I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna sue this motherfucker. I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna call the Jewish defamation, the JDL. I'm gonna." Now it was all right when he was talking about Eazy-E, talking about what he gonna do to him and all the other guys. But soon as they said, all he said was, you let a Jew come before us or something, before your homie or something like that. Y'all got to go through. And I just sit there and thought about that. Because you said, Jimmy, how swift the action was. How swift the action. You can set plantation and tell them guys, y'all can be on the plantation, you get your job back. Miles Leonard is gone indefinitely. You mess with a white co-ed on a campus at LSU, your ass get fired. Les Miles. Jerry Heller, yes. So I'm just sitting there just saying, Jimmy, I just laid it out there for y'all. Just take a look at it. I'd never heard of that word, Jimmy. Let me tell you something. That word is not in my lexicon. But it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's once again, 2020 and 2021, there's plenty of things, if you're paying attention, that remind people, white and or black, plenty of things.
Hold up. Jimmy got stuff. Watch it. Hey, I got my unbelievable tags under there. But it's unique. It's just, I'm not, Joshua said, you are not familiar with the word because Jewish people have zero tolerance with the use of it. Wow. Why don't we have the same zero tolerance? No, I've heard the word. No, Joshua, I've heard the word. I say it's not in my lexicon because I'm not going to say nothing to try to hurt a person like that. I wouldn't do that like that. It's not in my lexicon. That meaning I've never used that to say anything about a person before in my life. I just, it's weird. It's unbelievable. But Jimmy, I just wanted to share that with y'all. What else we got? We got something else.
What we also have up north. Speaking of not far from Thaddeus Moody, and up in that neck of the woods of Indiana, Illinois, but up that way, Iowa has decided to retire the jersey of Luke Garza. And the son and the living family members of Roy Marble has expressed supreme disappointment in the decision to retire Garza's jersey, who Garza recently became the school's all-time leading scorer, eclipsing Roy Marble's status. Well, Roy Marble, who played in the NBA, who was drafted and had a pretty solid career. He did a lot for Iowa, but his jersey was never retired. And he's passed away about 5-6 years ago. And the son put out that he'll never watch another Iowa game again. They sent out, the school's administrators sent out, the AD has apologized to the family. And apology is one thing. And I think, see, here's the thing. You mentioned about like accepting. I don't know about you guys, but just because a person apologizes, does that mean you're supposed to accept the apology? Does that mean you have to accept the apology? Just because a person apologized. Like some people say, I've seen conversations where people say, man, I said I'm sorry, God dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else you want? I apologize. All right. Just because you apologize, does that make everything solid?
No, it don't make everything solid. But if you apologize, you apologize. But that never makes everything solid. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, that don't make it solid. I mean, Hey, man. But what else he could do, Jimmy? What else could he do?
What else you can do is you can go and start the movement right now to let it be known. We will give Roy Marble his own space. We will retire his jersey next year.
Oh, you talking about that guy? Okay, yeah, I ain't, man. Come on, you know that's some Jimmy. David had Roy and two more guys, Iowa legends, been on hold, but somehow Lou Garza. But Jimmy, you said something long time ago. Whoever in power over there, like you said, the high school coaches got the power to do that. Who's ever in power, Jimmy, they have the wherewithal to do it. If that man wanted this, he said something real slick about the criteria. Those guys, Jimmy, that's what he said. Jimmy, if you go back and read it, he said something, if my memory serves me right, he said something about the other guys, Roy and the other two guys didn't fit the criteria. So I want to know what the damn criteria is. How about that?
And the thing about Roy Marble, it goes deeper.
Okay.
He put his money where his mouth was, as far as with his own. He put his family and encouraged his son to follow in his footsteps. And his son played, the one that put the message out and as disappointed. He played at Iowa as well. The son did.
He played, yeah.
And the son went to the NBA.
Yeah, he had a couple calls.
So if Roy Marble's name is hanging from the rafters, then that means the son name is hanging from the rafters as well.
I got you.
Indirectly. That's Pops.
I got you. I like that.
So once again, this is an easy, correctable error. Easy. You know what to do. It's an easy one.
Jimmy,
and
it
just
don't
like
sound
that
too
conversation,
easy. Jimmy, it don't sound. Jimmy, it's easy to you. Something else is going on, Jimmy. It's something
when
else.
when you're dealing with colleges, here's how this go. Here's how this solves. I'll give you the blueprint. It takes the person that's within the community, within that hour athletic that's close. There are people that's still living that fed Roy Marble when he was in college, and or his son. Boosters, I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There are people that still living as big boosters with that program. Obviously, those people have to be let be known and say, look, you see what they're doing? Because they have, when you're taking care of every one of those types of programs, have the old white family that's going to be feeding that young man, give him a job, take care of him. If you need anything, give him an envelope after the game. That's your kid, so to speak. That's your bragging rights on the golf course. That's what they do. They brag and they sit up in the box, in the luxury boxes, and they brag. When they guy have a bad game, that's my dude right there. Look at my kid. Because all they want is for one day for their son, whatever their son is going to be, and take over the legacy of their business, for you to be a supporter or endorser of their son's business, of his future. That's all. Be a part of it. Be accessible. And what you have over there?
I got something for you, Jimmy. I guess the AD name is Gary Barter, right?
Yeah.
And he said that since he arrived at Iowa in 2006, 3 players are most often brought up as deserving to have their numbers retired: Marble and consistent All-American Maury Wire. That's in 1946. In 1948, and Chuck Darling in 1952.
He probably got in the 50s somewhere.
In 1952. Check this out. Barter said none of those 3 met the university's criteria for such an honor. But Barter would not disclose the criteria. He wouldn't even tell you, Jimmy. And Jimmy, I'm just giving people a history lesson. And the reason Miles Leonard can get extricated that quickly and swift justice to them quickly, because the Jewish power. That's why I keep always telling us about the power that we have. Let's realize the power that we have. We need to be, we need to put ourselves in positions of power. So we can, if somebody like when Creighton, like when Jerry Heller, I said Jerry Keller, I'm sorry. Jerry Heller said, I'm going to call the Defamation League. Who we call? When somehow, who we call? Hold up. When Creighton coach did that, who did we call? See, that's where we got to put ourselves in a position where we have the power so we can call somebody to demand those changes like that. And we getting there, but we got to start getting focused on a lot of us being the more of us of power that get together, it will show a greater sign of force, man. And that's what this about. Though I'm glad we had these things, even in Texas, the power, because the boosters give money. Guess what? Now we got to put ourselves in position to be wealthy, so we can give money. So we can give money to university. So we can have our say so at the University of Texas. University of Texas got some alumni, black alumni. Where are they? I heard not one of them come up and say anything. So that's what we got to do, man. He said Ben Crump. No, Ben Crump. Oh, yeah, we could call Ben Crump. Yeah, you can call Ben Crump. But y'all working Ben Crump ass to death. Y'all working. We used to have the NCAA. Yeah, we used to. And I'm not going to down that organization because the NCAA, the AACP. Ooh, I always get messed up on that one. It does this. It does things they can do. But I'm just telling you that Jerry Heller said, call the Jewish Defamation League. The first thing he said, Jimmy, I'm gonna sue that mother. I said, wow, unbelievable. We got to get our power, man. We got to get our power. We got to level up. Jimmy, we got to level up. Get us a big ball, Jimmy. We got to level up. We still been, hey, y'all, we still messing with the little bank. We got to get the big bank. So what else we got, Jimmy? What else we got, man? I know it's a couple more things.
Yeah, we got 24/7 Sports updated their class of 2023 rankings, national rankings for basketball today, and give a shout out to a couple of men around the state of Texas. We had Matt Steffi the other day. Great combo with him. If you missed that, you go back and get it. His son, Drew Steffi, made his debut in the top. They only ranked 75 players in the
Who ranked this, Jimmy? Who were the rankings?
24/7 Sports.
Oh, 24/7. Okay.
Yeah. So Matt Steffi, son, Drew Steffi, he makes a debut at number 64 on the list of 75. Mm-hmm. About over at Elkins High School, Chris Johnson, he's acknowledged with a number 73 ranking in the top 75. So this is his debut at number 73.
I like it.
Also, they're not the only players from Texas. I was just coming from the bottom and going upward. I mentioned the kid from that transferred over to Oak Hill from out of Dallas, Justin McBride. And so he's at number 68 on the list. Also, Malik Presley over in San Marcos, he's drops 5 slots from 49. Now he's at 54 on the list. Also from the state of Texas, we're talking about 24/7 Sports. Their top 75 sophomores right now in the country. And next up on the list is KJ Lewis over in El Paso. He is at number 21. He holds serve. That's where he was previously. At number 19 is Tyler Smith. They dropped him 4 slots from number 15 to number 19 in this poll.
I'm pissed off. You know how you said, Jimmy? I don't like them no more. You know how you said it's according to which one? I don't like them no more. I don't like 24/7 no more.
Jacoby Walter, who's a talented athlete over out of the Dallas area, McKinney, he goes down to he's at number 16 in the list.
Mhm.
Ronald Holland is, I think, the top rated player from the state of Texas. And Ron Holland
He went up.
is listed at number 13 in the country.
Did
He's
he
at
go up?
Duncanville High School.
Did he go up?
He went down
Oh, he
one
went down.
slot.
Oh, so what they doing with Texas? Why y'all? Why they dropping the Texas boys, man?
Well, I mean, the main beat writer lives in Texas for this region, and so
What?
this.
I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
Well, it's the range. If you drop one slot, that's not a because guess what? There could have been a guy that's behind you that's been balling out of control.
Okay.
And he went up.
Man,
so
I'm just talking, man.
Just because you drop, it's the range. The range. Now, when you drop out of your range, like Tyler Smith, they dropped him down to number 19 from number 15.
Yeah, that's out of range.
So that means now you're at the edge of getting out of that top 20. He will be making his debut with the Houston.
ESPN didn't drop him.
Well, they haven't updated the list yet.
Okay.
Everybody update on the same day.
Okay, I don't like that one. I don't like that one no more. But keep going.
That's how rankings are. Nobody likes nobody.
Yeah,
until
you told me that. You told me that.
Yeah.
So Tyler gonna make his debut when?
He makes his debut with the Houston Hoops at the Spring Icebreaker next weekend. So he's his old team, his former team, Team Griffin out of Oklahoma, they're coming to town and they're participating as well as you have a lot of programs to be up in. You have the Night Riders coming from Florida. You have Randy Livingston with the Live On coming from New Orleans. You got a couple of teams from California, a couple from Chicago. You got Utah is bringing a team. You got another team from Iowa. You got Florida, I mentioned. You got Louisiana, Mississippi. Atlanta, Georgia has a couple of teams. You got one team from Alabama.
Did you get my text? You get my text? You get my text? Not today. No. The other day you asked me. They in.
Okay, well then maybe we got a team from Memphis coming down. the Memphis Phoenix come down to Phoenix. We'll come down here and see what they're working with. So remember that Doug Jones, you make sure you mark down to go and watch the Memphis Phoenix. Them had us homeboy. We'll come down here.
Doug ain't gonna want a little G. Hey, Doug gonna be wanting to move to Memphis. Doug gonna be wanting to move to Memphis, man. Say, Jimmy, I got to move to Memphis, man. I got to move to Memphis. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Doug said, hey, Jimmy, Doug talking about the transfer portal is growing and growing by the day.
Yeah, I mentioned, Kyrie McDaniel has entered the transfer portal and will be leaving SFA. He spent 2 years there, didn't work out, couldn't crack and then remember that everybody comes back. That everybody whom they want to come back will come back. See, that's the point. As Coach Gates just explained to y'all. Just because the NCAA, it's kind of like this face mask rule in Texas. Texas is wide open, in case y'all didn't know it. Starting at midnight last night, this morning, it's wide open, meaning you don't have no mask are required in public. However, business owners may implement their own house rules as they deem wish. Now, I mean, if you want to go and seat, and everybody can, all businesses may resume at 100% occupancy. So that means now them tables that they had moved out and got them back in the back of the storage, they can put them tables back out there now. Some of those restaurants and bars and maximize. And guess what? Some are. You have the obligation to whether you want to patronize it or not on that particular day.
Oh yeah. I love it.
It ain't no different than before. There are some places that didn't even stop. Hell, you go down Alameda on some places on a Sunday, or to go get something to eat. It ain't never stopped. It don't feel like it. Don't appear that it had. So guess what? You had the option to get your ass in that line and get around all them people, or not. You had to see. No matter how protective you are, you know that one place in that restaurant that ain't disinfected, the restroom. That's something you don't even think about. See, my mom used to call people like that nice nasty. All your nice nasties, think about that. As much as you want to go and germatize yourself to death and squeak it on out there and get it in, guess what? That restroom, unless you are totally consciously aware. Here's what I mean. Most guys either do two things when you take your shoes off. Either you use your hand and take them off with your hand, or you kick them off with your feet, with your feet. And if you kick them off with your feet, then one of your shoes is going to always be scuffed on the back. Right? How many of you can honestly say that you sanitize the bottom of your shoes? You remember, you just walked to the restroom at the restaurant. You went and took a pee. You know, and women, y'all can only imagine. Some of you women got sons, so y'all know. Do you understand what's at the front of every urinal in almost every public restroom?
Plenty piss.
So me, I gotta take the pivot.
Sideways. Sideways.
You do the pivot or you do the wide straddle. You got the wide straddle or you got the pivot. The pivot, like you getting ready to shoot something. Like you getting ready to
tell y'all what I do. I'm not going to even tell y'all what I do.
Your legs like that. I'm a second
baseman.
I'm a second base. Like I'm getting ready to turn two. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to even tell you. I'm not going to even tell you what I do.
It's down on that flow.
I really don't like to go in public restrooms.
It's down. And guess what happened now? The respect factor is long gone because back in the days when I grew up, you didn't even go into the they used to call them, we call them shitters. You didn't go into the shitter unless you had to shit. You went to the you did nowadays, guys, the kid ain't no respect. They go in there, they peeing on that. So that's all overflowing now.
Hey, only you can bring up some stuff like this, man.
I'm telling you, y'all share the show right now. Somebody on your timeline could get some of this. I'm telling you the truth. And you know what you're saying now? You saying, man, he wrong for that. But damn, he telling the truth.
Hey.
Guess what? It's so cold now, Howder. Even in at the airport, piss everywhere. That's international piss.
Dude.
Ain't no telling what's in that piss.
Jimmy,
it's from everywhere.
Guess what I do? Guess what I do at the airport now? Well, shit, I ain't been to the commercial airport in a year. But Jimmy, I don't go to the restroom with everybody. I go to that restroom where you can lock the door. You know, they got one little, they call it, I don't know where they go in there, they got the baby table already. Yeah. Now, they be a lot cleaner than you go in there with them old nasty. Dudes just nasty, man. I don't like to go in the dude's restroom. I just don't like to, man.
Dude, you know what I do?
Dude's nasty.
When you go in that one like that, and that one, you know they had those. That one normally have the little sheets that you put on the toilet. The little
Jimmy,
sheets.
You're gonna need more of some sheets.
But you know what? It's so tricky because if you don't hold it right, you put it down. You got to use 2 of them or 3 of them, but you reach back and get the other one. The toilet didn't flush because the automatic sensor done went out. So now you chasing out when you got to start back over. But I'm gonna tell you the tip. When you go, if you know you're going in there, just stop at the paper towel dispenser before you even go in.
Get your stack up.
Get your soap in the water and wet your little brown towel or the white little hard towel.
Jimmy, you've been to use the restroom on yourself. By the time you do all
you got to
that,
hit it. You got to hit that thing. You got to hit that
Brandon
thing.
said them women nasty too. I don't go in there, but I ain't gonna lie. I just don't like to go in public restroom. I got this phobia. That's why I'm laughing about it. Everybody know I got this phobia. Man, I'd rather go pee outside than go in there, man. I'm serious.
Understand something. It goes deeper than that. What if for those that have to go, if you got to go, and that water down there, when you take your pants off, your pants is still touching that. Your pants hit when you drop them down to your ankles and cock a squat. Your britches still touching that.
Hey man, I'm gonna take you off the screen, man. You talking crazy? Cock a squat.
I'm telling you, they know what I'm talking about.
A long time. Yeah, the family
understand.
Thank you.
Understand? So know what I do? That spray dermatize. That's my thing now. I ain't ordering this one no more. I ain't ordering nothing but the spray. Cause that spray, when I'm out of town, when I was out of town the other week, I hit my shoes with that spray. I'm good. I mean, it don't mean it's gonna cure it, but psychologically, I feel like I done something. I ain't just gonna, dude.
Jimmy, I can't tell y'all. Jimmy, even on the golf course, Jimmy, you know, they had a portables out there. Man, I read a piece. But Jimmy, one time, man, I was finna go. Man, guess what?
Oh, them the worst. Them the worst.
It was a lady. It was a lady on her balcony at a crib. And I said, oh, Lord. She almost called me, Jimmy. Because I was finna go right there in them bushes right there, man. Hey, man, let me tell you something, man. I don't know how you got on this subject, but boy, we got 9 minutes. I hope you can glide this plane.
I mean, people know what I'm talking about. And know what's gonna happen? One of y'all gonna go today and have to go and use it. And first thing you're gonna do is look down, you're gonna start laughing. And then guess what? If you ain't got the right shoes on, don't you dare try that wide stride. Your ass you're gonna do Sammy Davis Jr. You end up splitting that damn restaurant. Don't do that. I'm telling you, you gotta have your break right. You gotta have your. You gotta have it right.
You slipped up in the restroom and fell.
No, but I didn't felt myself. You had to, hey, you gotta grab something.
Hey, man.
I'm telling you, man. Say, hey,
I don't
this stuff is for real. Hey, man. Hey, each his own. But the thing, whatever you do, just make sure you wash your hands. Some shit you're supposed to have been doing already before the pandemic in the first place, and still. I've seen a couple of people, and you know, it just depends. You pick and choose your battles, you know, depending on where I'm at and what I got on. If I got on sneakers, I've said some stuff to a guy before that was in the restroom. I say, damn, you gonna wash your hands? And he act like he ain't hit me. He just walked on out. I was prepared though, what I had on that day for him to say something. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got to pick your battles. And if I got on shoes, I ain't gonna step to you. That's on you. But I say, damn, you gonna wash your hands? He just walk right on out.
I'm done with all of y'all, man. But Jimmy, before we leave, Dr. Cornel West, I reported a few weeks ago that they didn't want to give him tenure at Harvard. Jimmy, he done left. He said, man, yeah, he done left. He done went back to his old college. I'm gonna read a little bit for you. Dr. Cornel West has left Harvard University after it balked on a recommendation that his untenured position become a tenured one. Boy, Jimmy, when I looked up and understand what tenure was, I know what they can't fire you. They can't really fire you if you're tenured. West, you know, a popular, well-known African-American studies professor, progressive activist. You know, he will return to Union Theological Seminary where he has taught multiple occasions, Jimmy. Jimmy, they got in his article. He was once, wait a minute. He was talking about that. It was talking about how he called Barack the black mascot for the Wall Street oligarchs. So, he done left Harvard. And he said, y'all ain't gonna let me be tenured. Jimmy, why wouldn't he just stay? Why would he just say he getting tired of these Ivy League people ain't treating him right?
It probably goes both ways when you're talking about Cornel West.
Yeah,
it probably goes both ways. He's probably fed up with them, and they're probably fed up with him.
Right.
And that's, you know, and that's probably from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I probably can. That's probably close to the mark, to say the least, on that. I was looking I'm just thinking about something that tomorrow could be the final college game for Cade Cunningham. Remember, because Oklahoma State is ineligible to play in the NCAA tournament. They're ineligible for postseason play.
Jimmy, it's an appeal. And if you don't rule on the appeal, if the appeal don't rule, they can play. They got
it on the appeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If they don't rule before the tournament start, he can play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that they play West Virginia on tomorrow, and he was named conference Big 12 Player of the Year, and that's rightfully so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had his fingerprints on a few wins this season, and the thing is, Coach Gates mentioned earlier about guys who schools wouldn't hire, and he mentioned talking about Coach Brown over at Wichita State. He says, well, hell, it's funny because he's good enough for Wichita State, but he wasn't good enough for some of them other schools to hire him and give him a shot. But he's good enough for Wichita State now. And now I look at, and first thing came to my mind, I thought about Mike Boynton at Oklahoma State. Mike Boynton is good enough for Oklahoma State, but he was not good enough for SFA.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was.
They didn't give him a chance, Jimmy.
He wasn't good enough to even get a sniff.
I know.
But then he's good enough for, you see?
And Jimmy, if he wasn't on that staff and just he was in the right place. Man, you know what? That guy, that article I was telling y'all about is a great article, Jimmy. The AD of that university said something so great about Mike, and I'm trying to find it. He said, we decided, check this AD is Mike Holder, that's his name. He said, we just decided to take a chance on a young coach who possessed all of the personal qualities that we valued and counted on him to figure out the head coaching part. You got me? He said, we're gonna count on him to figure out the head coaching part. And Jimmy, I thought about something the other day, because I know you always, when you talk about being in the press, and this is for these our young guys, the Cade Cunninghams, if y'all know these guys, these young guys who planning on going and doing this taking sports to another level. Jimmy, you always talk about having a friend in the press and having somebody, even Jimmy, even the young guys should understand that having a friend even in you and even of this chop shop. And Jimmy, so I thought about some the other day, and I was just telling about a smart player and what I used to tell my players. A smart player, and you can use this in high school, Jimmy. A smart high school player, smart college player, a smart college pro player is one who makes sure they cultivate their own relationships in the media. Jimmy, you've been saying this because you said you want to be on the right side of politics. Yes, if you always come to my events and you always do this and you always, you even said something about, you remember when Kenneth Lofton told you he's going to be in his magazine the other day. And I never forget, Lil Robert told you the same thing. You follow me? So, and I'm sitting there, I'm going to repeat this. Smart players is the one who makes sure they cultivate relationships with people in the media. So you know exactly where you want to go when you have to get something done because you trust that your message is going to get out and put it the way that you want it. That's the key, Jimmy. And we got to start, we in this space, we got to start it's the key because everybody says stuff, Jimmy, but you got to go with somebody you vibe with, somebody who truly gets you. Make sure that you're going to say it the right way you want to say it at the right time and on the right platform, y'all. We have no idea. Let me tell y'all something. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm telling you this, we have no idea how many players, pros and everything, in 2021, and they still don't get it. They still don't get it, Jimmy. We had some interactions today, and then guess what they'll tell you now, Jimmy? They don't need, I got social media. I don't need you. But they don't understand what that means. That means, Jimmy, we don't really need them. The press don't really need them. Because guess what? You do understand because social media, you can get away without even talking to the player, Jimmy. All you got to do is go to his damn Twitter page and know every damn thing you're doing. We really don't even have to talk to these players to know everything they're doing. So, and it makes our job easier. But let me tell y'all something. Young men, cultivate your relationship with these people that's in your space. So when you need to come and talk on the chop shop and you want us to tell your story, you want to say your old story, tell your story, you got a place. So cultivate these relationships, Jimmy. Jimmy, you can take us on home. It's 2:00. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing. Don't forget, guys. We it's time for me to go and get into it. I got a loaded day,
Me too.
staff meetings and stuff. But the spring icebreaker, we get back on. I'm starting on the schedule now. I've closed out the registrations, and I dug up something this morning, Heather, that took me back. Look.
Oh, okay. Hey, Select.
Look what it say up under that.
Spring icebreaker. What's that? Spring icebreaker.
Look what year.
2001.
What?
2001. God.
This is the very first. This is the program
years, Jim.
from my very first spring icebreaker.
20 years.
The very first spring icebreaker, and back then it was NCAA certified. You see, it was, and you had to get UIL
approved and AAU sanctioned.
You had to pay UIL $200 if you wanted to do an event in the spring where college coaches can come, Division I coaches. So the icebreaker, and not many people at the time willing to pay that and willing to go through all those measures. I went and got the approval. Back then, the NCAA say states, if y'all want to have something live, it's on y'all to authorize it yourself. So, and it would go up under the NCAA's adage. You had to let them know, but they thought the UIL and all states would hold, serve, and stand in unison and say, no, we're not gonna. But they didn't. It's a lot of states, maybe about 5 states kept things open, and this is how the spring icebreaker started off in 2001. So this will be our 20th year doing this event. 20 years, man. That was not part of the plan. This was my first ever event. Was a spring icebreaker. And I don't think a lot of people put things in perspective. Is one thing is not easy doing events, doing successful events. Put it like that. It's easy to go out there and make some trash, but it's not easy to do a successful event. It's not easy to keep events and keep a candle lit for a youth basketball tournament, to keep the same name for that many years. If you want to put things in perspective, I don't think a lot of people may not realize this. Y'all wait till I die and y'all congregate outside the church and want to talk about it, and y'all become statisticians of me then. But while I'm living, you act like you don't even know it.
And by the way,
guess what?
Gone. Didn't you mention Westbury Christian making the TAPS championship game? Didn't you mention that today?
I mentioned them yesterday.
Oh, you mentioned them yesterday. Keep going. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mentioned them yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
About they were playing. And so this thing, understand, how many events, first of all, can you think of that had the same name besides from AAU Nationals? How many events have had the same name for 20 years? Think of let that soak in. What, how many events with the Boo Williams Invitational? That probably qualifies. Then you think of how many people of color have hosted an event that's lasted with the same name for 20 years in the state. The Great American Shootout. I'm trying to think. Was it always the Great American? I think it might have been. Maybe. Yeah. Great American Shootout was in Denton back at the time. 20 years. All right. 20 years. Think about it. So we in historic territory of putting these events out, and hope you guys enjoy the schedule and enjoy the action when it comes. Once again, we will have complimentary rapid COVID tests on the outside of most of the locations for those that chose to do so. And we will have separate colored armbands for those that do take it. That way now you can know if you chose to sit next to a person that don't have the same color armband as you. We'll have that. We also will have a lot of good basketball. I encourage you to download the RCS Sports app. Download the RCS Sports app, and you can see a list of all the teams. Schedule, we'll publish that schedule on Sunday for you guys. and all action. It's going to be good. It's going to be really good, really good. And that's the spring icebreaker. But anyway, guys, it's time to land the plane. I want to thank you guys on this great conversation with Dennis Gates. Great convo with Coach, man. He kept it 100 as he always does, and you could tell, he's the fingerprints of George Raveling, John Thompson, John Chaney, Leonard Hamilton are all over Dennis Gates. You can tell if you didn't know, somebody asked the question, those were the people that influenced him that were during his day. Of course, Chaney and Coach Thompson both passed away in the recent last 6 months or so. But he's been anointed, and he does a lot of things with a lot of the coaching within the fraternity of those coaching ranks as well. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for everybody. Share the show on your way out. We'll be right back on this thing tomorrow, getting it in. And then guess what? Shout out. And yes, on tomorrow, we understand we only had so much time to talk about high school. Right. We'll talk more about the private schools and congratulate the Woodlands Christian and the Westbury Christian and all that on tomorrow. Meanwhile, anybody that's watching from those schools, I strongly encourage you to take out the extra effort to send an email or a text message with your results. Y'all starting this stuff again where you want my fire to keep you warm, but you ain't putting no logs in the fire. But then you go across the street. But they go across the street to the other guy, and he charging your ass for everything and turning you upside down. And you feeling good about it. Oh, that's a good effing right there. You feeling good about it.
Yeah.
He's sticking his thumb in your ass and you feeling good about it. That's sad. Y'all gotta wake up for real in this city. Shit, I done spoiled y'all. That's what it is. Anyway, guys, we up out of here, man. We have Robert Heller. This Jim X. Time to slide down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing for this Women Rock Wednesday. Shout out to all the ladies out there. And we'll see you guys on tomorrow, man. Little Rick, be good out there, man. I see you, Little Rick. Little Rick want me to go get a copper cup. I feel you. I'm going to keep my eyes open. Peace, man. We up out of here.
Let me hit that button.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop.